Hey, what's up guys? I'm back with another video. We have a lot to talk about. A new notice came out titled What's Ahead for Dragalia Lost Part 2, detailing what we can expect, and I wanted to go over it with you guys, see what you guys thought, see what we can figure out, and see what we can expect for the near future. Now, they start off by telling us more, or at least reinforcing our information on the Gala Dragalia event or banner. Simply telling us, that they plan on releasing a new banner for Gala Dragalia every 2 months or so. And, going over the details on the character Cerise that is in the current banner. What has me a little confused or concerned is this right here where it says Cerise may also appear in future Gala Dragalia events. Note the may also appear in future Gala Dragalia. Now, that tells me that she may also not appear in future Gala Dragalia banners, which kind of changes my perspective, because I thought she would be available in every Gala Dragalia banner. That might not be the case, or maybe it's just translated poorly. I don't know. Let me know what you guys think, because that is a little different than what I expected. But moving on, they tell us about the new facility event that's coming out. Now, they did have a separate notice on this, and they're just adding it in here as well. The Dream Big under the Big Top facility event, and the Circus of Dreams Summon Showcase, which will start on January 14th. They kind of just give an overview on it. No new information other than possibly the Summon Showcase name. I'm not sure if I've read that or seen that before. That might be new information, Circus of Dreams, as far as the Summoner Showcase name. But maybe I just didn't pay attention to previous events or previous notices as closely as this one. Moving on to that, they did make note on that they have been hearing us on wanting insignia trading, as far as the treasure trading from higher to lower and lower to higher. They did mention that they plan on implementing it in the future, but it's not a top priority for them. The way they worded it was basically saying, hey, we've heard you guys, we know you want this, we plan on implementing it, but it's not going to happen anytime soon. I feel that they're basically saying, hey, please stop telling us that you want this. We know we're not going to do it yet. And the reason why I say that is because they could have easily implemented it during, at the same time as they gave us the orbs trading and the wings or the scales trading, but they didn't, and they made a conscious decision to not allow that for whatever reason. I'm guessing that they're trying to gate certain aspects of the game that utilize the insignias, but for whatever reason they decided not to add it in the December update that allowed trading, and they're basically saying, hey, we'll do it eventually. So just be patient, it'll eventually come. Please stop telling us about this. Please stop telling us you want this. For me, it's fine. I don't mind the grind, but I understand it is a pretty grueling grind, and it's not. Some could feel that it's not a comfortable grind. For me, it's not a big deal. I have a lot of stamina. I do stamina refreshes. It's not that bad. But for more casual players, or for players who just don't like grinding, it's pretty bad. Moving on, they in this section right here, tell us how they are going to improve co-op, and they are doing a lot for co-op. So one, they're gonna they mentioned this before, they're gonna make everyone use wings during co-op. Now I did mention in a previous video how I felt about that, and my feeling's kind of the same in that it does definitely limit us as far as how many times we could play co-op, because they did specifically say that there will not be a stamina option for playing co-op. For me personally, it's not a big deal because I already spend Wormite for stamina refreshes. I could easily spend that Wormite on wing refreshes. I currently don't, but they're roughly the same price and it's not a big deal. But for someone who sees the game as a game where they summon, where summoning is the main point of the game, and they play this game and they summon themselves dry, and usually they don't have extra Wormite, it's going to be a problem for them. And I can definitely see it being a problem for them, because now they have to choose between summoning, which they probably see the main focus of the game as, or or use it on getting more wings, being able to play the game for longer and all that. And I can see definitely there's going to be a struggle on that, but I mean, that's just something they might have to live with. In addition to that, they're going to make it so everyone needs otherworld fragments during the raid events, which again wasn't too much of an issue for me because I would farm bronze emblems with the boss and I would get a bunch of fragments anyways. But for some people who farmed the raid events using only wings and never amassing fragments, it'll also be a change of pace for them as well, because everyone's using the same thing, same amount of wings, same amount of fragments and all that. They're gonna eliminate the host rewards, which makes a lot of sense. But to ease kind of the fear of this change, they are changing the wing recovery rate. So instead of us getting 1 per hour, they're going to change that, and they haven't specified how they'll change it, but that's going to most likely be a lot faster. They'll also rebalance how many wings it'll cost to per quest, so they're rebalancing that as well. So right now I'm optimistic in the changes. It's something we'll have to wait and see how it affects the players, how it affects the flow of the game and all that. But it sounds like they're working really hard on trying to make the co-op experience better, and I think all of this will make the co-op experience better. Ultimately, in each co-op matchmaking game and all that, in the micro perspective of each, like each game, each time you want to go play co-op, it'll probably make matchmaking a lot smoother. A lot of the annoyances of playing co-op will probably go away from all this, but I feel it'll definitely limit people in how much co-op we can play. In addition to that, they're looking into putting a penalty onto inactive or AFK co-op players, which is great because that's really annoying and really not fair to a lot of people who want to play co-op. So those are their main focuses and what we could expect for what they're gonna do with co-op, what they're gonna change with co-op in the near future. They did mention a couple other things that they plan on doing in the long term with co-op, and that is they mention it right here, where they say, we will also make it so that multiplayer requests do not get interrupted when disconnected from the host by having the AI take over the other adventures in your squad. Now, to me, that reads as if you're not the host, if you're a joiner and the host disconnects or quits or whatever, you get disconnected from the host, your game will become localized and it'll essentially be a solo game where the other 3 players will be AI controlled. Now, that's a really good improvement, because currently, if the host leaves, your game ends immediately. You get your stamina back or you get your wings back, but you have to start all over from the beginning, and that's really frustrating, really annoying. So it's really nice that you can continue the game if the host leaves. My only concern is that it might be able to be abused if, let's say you have a friend start a co-op room and you join them and then they leave so that you can play solo using wings, basically. I can only think of a few reasons why you would do that, mainly to burn wings quickly if it's hard to find a co-op room, or basically that. If you want to burn your wings quickly, that's probably a way to abuse that system. Assuming that it's still difficult to find co-op rooms, maybe that'll change. Maybe this is not a big concern at all. But I can imagine some instances where that system could be abused. In addition, they plan on giving us the ability to set a goal for the room so that everyone who sets that same goal gets matched together. Basically, the best example I can think of is maybe if you're new to the High Dragons and there's probably like a drop down or very few options. Maybe one option would be, hey, I'm learning how to play this fight. So maybe everyone who does that gets matched in the same room. So obviously, if you're all learning, you're probably not going to succeed, but you're going to learn the fight during this. And it doesn't bog down, people who already know the fight, and they're not flooded with all these noobs trying to learn the fight while they're trying to farm. This seems good in practice and on paper, but I'm worried it might segment the community and kind of limit the amount of options you have, as it'll make co-op harder in a sense. It'll make it better in that you're finding people with like-minded goals, but it'll make it harder in that not everyone is in the same pool of co-op anymore. It'll break it up into a bunch of different rooms, and I guess that all depends on how many people are playing co-op at the time and all that. So that'll be interesting to see once they roll it out. But again, that's something that they plan on doing in the future, not in the immediate future, regarding co-op. Now further down, they do mention that they want to start all new players with a 5-star adventure, but they're going to do this by giving new players a 5-star adventure ticket. This is really good. I think the amount of people who are re-rolling and the amount of reroll accounts that's probably being generated from not getting a 5-star is good evidence that a 5-star, that everyone wants a 5-star, wants to start with a 5-star. So this is good for the community, I think. And for compensation for current players, they're just going to give current players a 5-star voucher, 5-star summoner voucher, adventure voucher. So ultimately, nice. I'm very happy to get another voucher. And I think it probably won't end re-rolling because, you know, a 5-star adventure is still random from the ticket, but it'll definitely reduce the amount of re-rolling that's currently happening. Now on to one of the most exciting parts of this notice is the new content. The new content, they gave us a bit more information on the new content. Currently it's called Void Battles, but that name's not final, and it's unlocked by clearing chapter 7 of the main story. What Void Battles is basically you're gonna fight monsters, bosses, dragons who are corrupted by black mana. And one of the examples they gave was Hypnos, which was in a previous raid battle. This is interesting in the sense that because they specifically mentioned Hypnos, during that event we got a free adventure, Melsa, and Melsa has a passive specifically for Hypnos. And a lot of people said, hey, you know, Melsa's really good for this raid event, but after that she's so-so because now one of her passives useless. Well, with this new content and with Hypnos returning, this makes Melsa a lot stronger now. Specific for one specific event or one specific battle, but still, it's nice to make use of, you know, old passives and old characters that don't have, you know, all the best passives. So that's really nice. And they did mention that the difficulty for these Void Battles will be the bridge between the difficulty of Imperial Onslaught and the High Dragon Trials, which is pretty much where I'm at. I'm right in the middle of that. And from that, you can kind of assume that these battles will be balanced around co-op play. Unless you're someone who can solo Imperial Onslaught, you're probably not going to be soloing these battles, these Void Battles. If you can solo Imperial Onslaught, you might be able to solo these Void Battles, but beyond that, we could probably expect to be utilizing the new wings system for these battles. In addition to that, these battles will drop material that you can collect and make new weapons. And they did give us an example right here, a sneak peek of the bosses we can expect. That looks like a Zephyr that's corrupted by black mana. And then below that, there's some special weapons that can only be crafted through getting all these material drops. This is very exciting because now it expands, you know, the weapon pool. Currently the weapon pool is very limited and very straightforward. Pretty much everyone gets the same thing. Everyone who's in the same, you know, every similar adventure gets the same weapon basically. Like a Mikoto will always get a fire katana. There's only one available. So this is really exciting because it kind of opens up the barriers and opens up possibilities of variety amongst different players with the same adventures. So that's a very nice improvement. And the Void Battle thing will be expecting to be available at the end of February, which is not too far away. And finally, the last thing that they mentioned is the change that they want to make to worm prints. They recognize that worm prints are very undervalued, very weak in the current system, and they've heard all our complaints on that, and they want to address it by expanding our ability to use them by allowing us to equip 2 at one time. Now this does make the game very different, because currently if you're playing, you know, high dragons, if you're fighting high dragons, there's only one worm print to be used. If you're what this does is, if you like a 3-star adventurer who maxes out at 75% affliction, you can actually equip worm prints that'll bump that up to 100%, and it makes a lot more adventures viable for a lot more content. And I think it makes this game, it'll make this game overall better because of that. It'll give everyone new options to play around, and it'll make for some interesting combinations, and it'll open up more variety for this game. Well, there you have it, guys. That's all they let us know about, but I'm sure they're looking for new ways to improve this game constantly. They seem to be doing really well on listening to our feedback and responding to it and making changes based on that. So I'm really excited for this, you know, for what's to come. I can't wait for the end of February, because I really want to try out these new void battles. I'm kind of as far as my progression goes, I'm kind of running out of things to do, and you know, this comes right at the best time for me. I don't have the right stuff for high dragon trials, but I'm pretty OP when it comes to Imperial Onslaught. So definitely want to try out these new void battles. But yeah, that was it. Let me know what you guys think. I really want to know if you have any other concerns that I didn't touch on, or you know, if you have any comments on what my concerns are. Let me know, and please like and subscribe to the video, and I hope you have a good day. Until next time.